Okay, here's my video on pencil tone. So you're going to need your picture on a device or printed out, your outline portrait, a rubber, a pencil sharpener and a pencil. I'm going to first start by folding my page in half so I have a line down it. Now your teacher may ask you to do different sections than I'm showing you in this video, so please follow along with what they are asking you to do. So I'm folding my page just so I've got an imaginary line. I'm going to include tone on the left hand side of my portrait, but as I say, you may be asked to do something different. So I'm making sure I'm looking at my photo, making sure I've got a sharp pencil as well. That's important. You'll notice I sharpen my pencil quite a bit during this video. And I start by looking at the darkest tones. So I'm adding in dark tone around the side of the nose and where all that shadow is. You'll notice that my video speeds up as I go. Building up the dark tone, adding as much pressure as possible to give that shadow. Here's where we speed up. As you start doing the dark tone, you'll notice that your pencil needs sharpening more often. So the darkest tones in that shadow, in the pupil of the eye and around the top lid. What you'll notice here is I'm starting to get pencil on my hand and smudging. So I'm using a tissue here to place on top of the work so I can rest my hand on it so I don't smudge anything. You want to keep the tissue still, you don't want to move the tissue around, otherwise it will also still smudge. But it's a way of stopping your hand from accidentally smudging across your work. Here I'm looking at, again, some of the mid-tones around the eye, but I'm mainly concentrating on getting some of those darker tones in to begin with. Again, sharpening my pencil. And then following the dark tones down the side of the face. You'll notice I keep looking back at my image to make sure I'm taking in that information to tell my hand where I need to go. And then I've zoomed in as well. You should be able to zoom in on your device if you need to just see certain areas. Now in this section I start adding a bit more of the mid-tone to the top lip and just under my nose. So I'm adjusting the pressure on my pencil, trying to give definition to the bottom of the nose there, and then show a little bit of lightness on the top lip. And you'll notice that I'm holding my pencil a little bit further up and a bit more so it's slanted a bit more, so not like you are writing, but you're trying to get more of the surface of the graphite of the pencil touching the surface of the paper. Having a look at filling in some small details, little cracks and things on the lips. And I'm keeping just into that left-hand side of the portrait. As I say, your teacher may ask you to do a different box on your portrait if you follow their instruction. I move around a little bit, notice other bits that I want to kind of make a little bit darker, but I'm picking up that tissue each time so I'm not putting my hand down on the portrait. Here I'm starting to concentrate on the eyebrow. Now the eyebrow is made up of lots of different little hairs, and I'm trying to follow the direction of those hairs. So I'm going through that, and you'll notice that I'm going to sharpen my pencil every now and again, just to make sure that I get some fine detail in there. There we go, I looked at my pencil there to check it was sharp. And just building those layers of hairs up to add in a bit of tone, but also a bit of detail into that section. And then I continue up the face, looking at the difference in tone to the side of my face, moving onto the forehead, gradually adjusting how much pressure I'm using there. And then onto the hair. When I'm doing the hair, because I've got quite long hair, I'm trying to keep my strokes, my pencil strokes quite long to suggest it. What I'm trying to avoid doing is just kind of scribbling in the hair. I want to follow the hair and build it up. So I'm building tone in that way, still leaving some areas of white in between to suggest how the hair might be reflecting light. And you'll notice that I go down the side of the face with the hair. You need to follow your hairstyle, follow the way your hair runs. If you've got short hair, then use shorter marks. If you've got longer hair, then you need to be using longer marks. I'm trying to match the waviness of each of the hairs, some of the flyaway hairs again, and I'm making sure that I keep sharpening my pencil. For these finer details, you want to get thinner and thinner lines, building things up. So to build up more tone on my hair, I will just be adding more and more lines over the top. And then you can see I just start finishing some bits off, adding a little bit more mid-tones, adding some lighter tones in there, and then adding in some detail into my tie, and then the really dark collar of my black shirt as well, so pushing really, really hard on there to fill that section in.